and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the Conservative Circus with James T. Harris.
Forget about the October surprises. We got enough going on in the news right now that is causing all kinds of problems. And we need to try to get a kind of some direction of where we're going. Jim Pfaff is the president of the Conservative Caucus. I almost say Conservative Circus. The Conservative Caucus. The caucus has most recently opposed the confirmation of Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court, campaigned for parental rights against racist and critical race theory, and pushed for the protection of honest elections. Jim is from the Valley. He's a former Valley resident. He is in the center ring. I want to welcome you, Jim. And, man, we have so much going on right now. You have done great work on the conservative cause, and you've also been sort of like a savant in looking at what happens when these events like the debate that took place a few days ago, how it resonates among the people. And I want to get your opinion on what you think, how this thing is going to impact the elections in just a few weeks.
Well, vice presidential debates never have had in the past a major impact. And there's, you always want to make expectations be in line, but there was something very interesting about this debate. Tim Walz, for the first time in a clear way, was shown to people to be, frankly, rather kooky. His facial expressions were kind of scary, and everything that he talked about is so radically left-wing, it made it very clear to people. On the other side, J.D. Vance, who's been harangued by the media, pushed back against constantly, called some scary dude, ended up showing himself to be totally ready for the job of president if Donald Trump's elected and he's VP. And he showed him to have a real grasp of the issues and the ability to respond in a way that can give people a high level of confidence. So in that sense, it's going to have a very positive impact.
Jim, I felt that myself. Of course, you try to look at the polls afterwards. You look at the flash posts. I don't trust any of those anymore. But what you described is what a lot of Americans saw. They saw someone that they would be comfortable, with being president, and they saw someone that simply is not ready for prime time. And you think that that's going to resonate among the populace?
I think so. Now, ultimately, the Americans vote for who's going to be president. Okay, so again, the expectations aren't that it's going to radically change the race. It just throws so many positives in to what, frankly, is already a race that's Trump's to lose, because the economy is so bad, and Americans know intuitively that Donald Trump made that happen. And, of course, the disasters taking place after the hurricane are showing that Harris and Biden are incompetent, and many other factors. J.D. Vance's positive performance at the right time, when all these things are coming together, really gives voters a reason to be very, very confident to say, we got to move on to something else. And in an election like this, it's the economy, stupid. That's going to allow them to really grab on to Trump and Vance and know that they can confidently go into the next 4 years.
Jim Pfaff is the president of the Conservative Caucus. He is in the center ring telling us how the events that had just happened in the last week or so are going to impact the upcoming election. You talked about the hurricane and the president's, or I should say the Biden administration's response. Tell me how the dock workers' strike would impact the economy and possibly the election.
Well, it is going to impact the economy. There's no doubt about it. The vast majority of what we both produce here in the country, which isn't as much as it needs to be, another good reason to go to Donald Trump, and what we receive from other countries comes through docks of one form or another. Not just the ones on the ocean. There are some inland places that are affected by this as well that move the transportation into the country. So it's going to radically affect the economy. We're not going to see it immediately, but it's coming very quickly. So the effect on the election is that first of all, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have put themselves into a corner. They could have dealt with this situation months ago, and they didn't put any effort into it to the point where the person running the Department of Labor said that she didn't know what was going on just recently in an interview. And so that is one factor. But the other one is this. If they let this go on, they've got a bad economy that's starting to hit people, and there's going to be a reaction at the polls. If they enforce the Taft-Hartley Act, which gives them, the president, an ability to have a cooling off period in situations like this, then they're going to piss off the union people who are not going to be happy with them at all. And so I think that I don't like situations like this coming up, and I would never politically want them to come about just to win an election. But the reality is it will negatively affect Kamala Harris at the polls, and I think accrue to Trump's benefit. He's already got union people on his side as it is. He's got the Teamsters union. You got 60% of Teamsters who say they're going to vote for Donald Trump. You're seeing this in other trade unions. It's a net positive for Donald Trump going to November 5th.
You know, you hear the president, I think it was Mayor Pete Buttigieg, all of these Trump officials are saying they want to back the union. That the big porters, they need to pay more money, transporters. But yet what ends up happening is it just kind of puts them in a bad light when the American people are being hurt. And you have the union leaders out saying, we're going to show them who's the boss. I can't see how that's going to be helpful to the Biden administration.
Everything is working against Kamala Harris and Biden right now because the disaster in North Carolina is going to negatively impact them in both North Carolina and Georgia, where much of the devastation is. And those are swing states that they want to, frankly, get the electoral votes from. They're really screwing it up. But the union thing is really crucial because union people do tend to vote. Many of them do tend to vote. They don't typically tend to pay a lot of attention to what's going on in politics. They're just trying to go to work every day and get home and take care of their families. But when things rise to this level, they start to pay attention and they get active. And I think you're going to see that on November 5th.
You talk about these issues, the vice president debate, the fallout, the dock workers, what's happening in the Middle East conflict. This is something that the Conservative Caucus has been doing for about 50 years, and they're hosting their 50th anniversary gala on October the 13th. And I do believe that one of your featured speakers is going to be Rudy Giuliani.
That's absolutely correct. We're holding it in Northern Virginia here around the D.C. area. And Rudy's come because, I'm telling you, what Rudy brings to the table is a reminder to all of us of what works when you have a competent and effective administration in a city. New York City did great under his leadership. The American people know this, and frankly, it sheds light to something that we've been working on for 50 years as an organization, which is to advance a conservative agenda that reflects America, that pushes back against the federal government that wants to control our lives and direct what we're doing. And we've had a lot of success this year. In fact, we're probably the second largest spender of independent expenditure money in support of Donald Trump. And we've got a lot of things on the docket coming up in 2025 and beyond to try to restore reality and hope in the future. And one big project that we'll be doing next year is taking on voting laws around the country. But there are a lot of efforts that can be undertaken legally to clean up voter rolls, to lobby to change the laws. We're going to be doing a lot of that with our 39 states grassroots activists and more than that. So this is why Rudy wants to come to speak. I mean, I've been acquainted with Rudy for some time, and he really believes in what we're trying to accomplish. We have a lot of chance for hope in America, particularly if Donald Trump gets elected, to turn back the massive efforts to undermine the American people and to give these government bureaucrats power that they don't deserve and the Constitution doesn't give them. That's what we're about, and we're going to continue those efforts now and into the future.
Well, I thank you very much for giving us some time today, because that's exactly what we've been talking about even before you came on, how we have to get it back, how it has to be grassroots, and how the government is not the direction we should be headed in. Jim Pfaff, I really thank you very much for this time. He is, he helped us shape what's going on. It's not like one or two things. It's sort of all coming together. We'll talk about that and how the media is strangely backing his observation. We'll do that at 9:18.